What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family, bringing you guys all of the updates on the Dallas Cowboys and, of course, the Ezekiel Elliott case.
Taking my relaxation cigar, guys. I don't smoke hardly ever, but the cigar is needed for tonight. It's not a celebration cigar. This is a depression cigar. This is the one that's gonna get me through. I saw Mark Holmes taking some shots of liquor. We don't do that. We don't drink. But I'll puff the cigar to relax me because my nerves are shot, guys, after the horrific news and the BS handed down by the judge in the Southern District of New York, Jennifer Fayez or whatever her name is.
How are you doing? Steve, thanks for joining us.
This is a depressing stream, guys.
I'm not really glad it's over just because, but Israel, what's up? Ancient Brooks, Diane. So,
what's up, everybody? What's up, crew? If you guys have not done it yet, hit the like button for the stream. If you're new, hit subscribe and hit the little notification bell.
Trust me, the stress without it would kill him first at this point. This, and especially one specific comment that the judge made, we're just going to touch very, very briefly.
So I'm going to let the court reporter here handle it for you guys.
So, guys, we already touched very, very briefly on the Zeke, or we went in detail on the Zeke thing. I'm just going to touch very briefly on it. Just a quick overview. Nike, what's up?
What's up, Nike, Steve, NYG.
We really don't want to dwell on it. I am
Ancient
going
Brooks,
to be doing a more in-depth review of the whole Zeke case, guys, up to this point.
DJ,
later
what's
on
up?
This week, so definitely expect that coming up soon. DJ Crown J, what's up? Let's go ahead and just kind of jump real quick into the summary of things, guys. So, Judge Fayez obviously ruled in favor of the NFL, mainly because of two reasons. One, the CBA agreement, and two, the Brady argument precedent already set there. So she said that she doesn't want to undermine the CBA agreement or the arbitration process. So she also said that the hearing was fundamentally fair and followed the rules of the CBA. So I think the two biggest implications from that, guys, is one, that the judge's decision gives the arbitrator a lot of power, a lot of discretion over what kind of evidence he chooses to admit, because the whole point of this is that the NFLPA, their whole argument was that the credibility of the evidence and of the testimony was questionable. And the only way for them to prove it was to cross-examine the main witness. But the NFL
Who's
said...
the main witness?
Tiffany Thompson. But the NFL said no, that they don't need to do that to prove their argument, and that the evidence that they had was all they needed, that was enough, and that they had to prove it with what they already had, basically. So, and again, considering that some information didn't even come out, that they didn't even know about at all until the second day of the hearing, guys, ridiculous. So it's scary to think of how much power the arbitrator has now in situations like this when a player appeals. So on top of that, guys, the shocking part of the hearing was that she ruled against irreparable harm and balancing of harms. What does that mean? So basically, she's saying that the CBA agreement trumps any kind of irreparable harm. So she's saying that missing football games does not equal irreparable harm to the player, and that was established in the Brady case.
So that goes along the lines with also, how about like money-wise? Is that included in that as harm?
She's saying that him losing money by being suspended does not, is not irreparable harm. That irreparable harm would be violating or overstepping the CBA agreement by overruling against it when the players agreed to all of that, guys. And as far as balancing the harms, that's what she means in that terms, that by overruling the CBA agreement, it would cause the CBA and the commissioner and the power of the arbitration process irreparable harm.
Right.
So I hope that made sense. Basically, she doesn't want to take away the commissioner's power to make decisions or the arbitrator's power to make decisions when they.
Well, I understand that. I understand now.
I just want to make it clear.
I want to say something. Jimmy Ross saying about Zeke and railroaded.
Yeah.
Now listen, guys.
Yeah, what's up, Diane?
Yes.
Ross,
what's up, Diane?
Ryder.
All you guys, what's up? Welcome to a depressing live stream.
Yeah.
I'm not copying anybody.
Yeah,
this is an actual real cigar. Yeah. I don't know what he's smoking over there. Either way, guys, look.
Yeah, they're not copying.
I wanted to agree with Jimmy Ross and what he said here, which again was something that we've been saying for a while as well. And thank you for saying that. Again, two police departments found him not guilty. They're not guilty. They didn't charge him. They charged him and they dropped the charges. So the two police departments dropped charges. The prosecution dropped the charges.
They didn't find the witness.
He's the first innocent man ever to be found guilty.
This decision got me drinking on a work night. Trust me, if I didn't have to get up so early, I'd be right there with you. At least a beer, because this has been a rough night, guys. And again, I am going to be doing an in-depth video on the Zeke case.
Yes, check that out, guys.
So for those of you who are interested on exactly, you know, kind of the whole process start to finish, we're going to kind of basically sum up the beginning parts and kind of break down some of these legal decisions and really see, you know, in the end, how does this affect all the players in the NFL, guys? Because that's the scary part here. This isn't just Zeke that lost in a way, but Zeke,
so all Eagle fans out there and Redskin fans, Giant fans, it might be Odell or Wentz one of those days when somebody accuses them and the NFL wants to make an example of that person. So just keep that in mind, especially someone like Odell, who's on that already on that borderline of, you know, crossing that line. So one day the wrong person.
NFL bias, Nike.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with Nike. Definitely NFL bias, guys. NFL had him this way from the start. This judge, who I know a little bit more of the background on, she's never ruled against the NFL. Never has ruled pro NFL PA or NFL players.
Yeah, always sides with the NFL.
It was a done deal, guys. It was just basically the other judge that was there. What was his name? Crotty, yes. Judge Crotty, when he was there, it was basically admitted by Judge Fias today that the reason why, you know, he ruled the temporary restraining order for 14 days was to not step on her toes. So this was going to be decided by her. His ruling didn't really make a difference in her decision. Neither did the one in Texas or the one that agreed in the fifth. Right, exactly. The ruling, the judge that agreed with Zeke in the 5th District Court of Appeals in New Orleans, the one that granted Zeke the injunction in South Texas, those are the ones she said. I don't have to worry about. I don't have to follow those judges' rulings in my decision. So obviously she just said, I'm going to rule with the NFL, and she already had, and you had quoted earlier that she had made a comment that she basically already had her mind made up. Not her mind made up, but she already had made her decision, and she was going to write up things for both sides to be able to promptly and appropriately respond, whichever one would be the loser, which obviously was the NFLPA and, of course, Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboy fans and the whole Cowboy Nation, guys. This is a disrespect right from the top, right from the NFL, from Roger Goodell. We knew this before, but the fact that it went this way and it was ruled in favor of Zeke multiple times by multiple federal judges, and then one judge who's in cahoots or in favor plays favorites, and it's obvious. You can see a line of this distinction. You'll go through some more of the breakdown
guys,
and the wording.
I'm going to touch on 2 more things before we wrap up the Zeke thing as far as that. But the unfortunate part of this, guys, is Zeke is definitely going to appeal, but the odds of that appeal being successful are pretty much near zero. This is the same court that made Brady sit, and they found it, you know, based on the whole Article 46, which is what this judge based it on, all of that. So, guys, Zeke's going to serve the 6 suspension.
Yeah, and again, guys, remember, if nothing changes when it comes to CBA and all this stuff, then guess what's going to happen? And I see an Eagle fan and a Giant fan next to each other, guys. You know, you guys not to say, you know, what he's saying is not going to be Wentz. You never know. You never know. Big Ben was accused, and he had to pay a woman off basically for rape. And the NFL at the time didn't have the same rules. If they did, guys, that'd be a Carson Wentz possible thing. You know what I'm saying? Even if whether it's true or not. I mean, supposedly it's supposed to be true with Big Ben. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know. But I will say that, you know, they still suspended him.
Yeah, and again, whether it was true or not, obviously the NFL has shown that just the mere accusation of domestic violence or sexual assault or something like that could be enough to violate the personal
I guess it'd be specifically an accusation of domestic.
So Wilson, that's exactly what they were. Zeke was suspended for, violating the personal conduct policy as far as domestic violence.
Correct. That's the thing, is that they were specific about
the domestic violence because
in the NFL, right?
That whole March incident, all those other things, they were specific about that. Which, guys, that's why we said Zeke was going to fight it till the end, which he
should. And he has to, for his name, for his life, guys. You're falsely accused, and you're even if it's not in the court of law, this is the court of public opinion. It's almost worse in a way. And I shouldn't say it's worse. It's not, but it's horrible in the sense that, you know, now, you know, multiple fans in the league are going to accuse him and believe that he really did beat this woman when there's absolutely zero evidence of that, guys. So check the facts if you really want to know the truth. If you don't and you just want to hate on him, that's fine. It might come to your team one day. It might not. Either way, let's just talk about fairness and just, you know, clean all the helmets. Just make them all the same color and all this, no symbol, nothing on it, and all the same thing. And if you're a team, you're a player,
so tough on
you say
Brown
different
as well.
Yeah, Josh Brown.
At the end of the day, they still only suspended
Josh Brown,
for 1 game.
exactly, that's true. And also, what about Jarvis Landry, which is a big topic conversation. Supposedly there's a video out, I haven't seen it, of him hitting a woman or something like this. And the NFL suspended him for 0 games, guys. They didn't find any, I guess, reasoning or proof, they said, something like that. And again, it just seems like it continues to be like a bizarre world when it comes to the NFL. I'm not saying that, again, behind the Cowboy conspiracy that they're out to get the Cowboys, I don't believe that. But I do think that they're out to make to show the world, hey, look, we're against domestic violence.
Yeah.
And by fixing all our previous errors that we've done, Josh Brown, Ray Rice, all the BS that they had the rest of the world believing, now they want to kind of say, hey, look, here's this one of the best athletes, players in the league right now. Forget the Cowboys. And again, he's done some dumb stuff. He's a perfect target. With this thing hanging over his head for over a year by the NFL.
Yeah, and guys, now I'm going to go ahead and read this one comment that honestly, I read this and I said a lot of crazy things. It took me a lot of time to really calm down. The judge specifically said this. Judge Faya seemed more concerned with the implication for punishing a domestic abuse case from Ezekiel Elliott. This came through in her opinion. I'm going to read her exact quote. So, quote, "What is more, the NFL had a critical interest in ensuring player compliance with the personal conduct policy, particularly in the area of combating off-the-field misconduct. Indeed, all parties to this litigation are keenly aware of recent criticisms of the NFL's efforts to redress and combat domestic abuse by NFL players. Put simply, Elliott's personal concerns, while not insubstantial, are outweighed by the broader league-wide concerns preferred by the NFLMC." So she's basically saying that the NFL's image on domestic violence matters more than Ezekiel Elliott actually being a domestic violence abuser.
So just because of the accusation is worth more on him because he's a big name player, almost in a way.
Accused of domestic violence, the league has to make themselves look good because if not, the NFL
that would hurt the NFL
because of recent cases that have made the NFL look bad.
Wow.
So the NFL has messed up.
That's straight from the judge.
Yeah. This guys, when I read this,
let me ask you a question as a female. Do you think that her being a female makes a difference in this, or do you think it's just that she's in with the NFL? Because that bothers me a little bit too. The fact that it's such a blatant disrespect to humankind.
I think it's both because I get the feeling from her, of the little bit of research I've done from her that she, considers herself kind of a feminist, I suppose.
Really? Oh, wow.
And not really, but she's a woman in position of power, and again, domestic violence is very like a pro-woman support. So as a woman, for her,
it's a pro-human support. I
agree. But right now, this domestic violence, as far as the NFL, is very much like man-on-woman violence, like specifically.
Crazy men and innocent women.
So her as a woman judge kind of has to stand up for that side of things. And so on this, I'm saying this specific issue, I think she has more of a feminist viewing of it in the sense.
What do you think about that, baby?
Agree with the victim and kind of be pro-woman. I mean, this obviously shows
pro-victim.
Because again, there's no credible evidence, but she's saying that just the image of it is bad enough, and that blows my mind. Me as a woman, that disgusts me because anyone accused of a crime that they did not commit absolutely needs, and domestic violence does not just happen to women. It happens to many men that are too afraid to speak up because of the shame and these other things. And because, yes, when women say, well, I'll just say you hit me first or you hit me, and that's it, and then you go to jail. So...
Or even the jail doesn't matter because the accusation, in this case, is enough now in the NFL.
And that scares me, guys.
In the NFL, but not in the court of law, but in the NFL.
But in the NFL. And these players don't deserve that because now that means that any woman can so choose to make these accusations, hurt these players.
Try to get money from him. I mean, that's what this woman, Tiffany Thompson.
Tiffany
Thompson, it's a known fact with her. And it's on our Twitter page, guys, because we have all the evidence on there.
Even focusing on facts, and if you have evidence,
and there's evidence of her saying that she wanted to get money from Zeke in this whole situation to get boob jobs and a trip. And her and her buddy were going to do this. This is not from us. This is from the court documents and her text messages, guys. So again, I agree. It's insane to me that there's so much proof almost the other way around on this. And yet, like in my mind, if I was just said, okay, let me drop you here on this planet, and I'm gonna let you think about this logically, and if I heard this with all the evidence based, the way it was presented, and the way that the legal system has taken care of it, how can any human being agree with this outcome ruling by the NFL to suspend him in the first place? And then on top of that, and again, the legal system is broken. I'm not gonna say this about this case because maybe they are following the CBA.
I agree.
And if they are, then they have the right. But think of the abuses that can be done now to your favorite player and to just human beings, guys, men, women, children.
And guys, I can tell you right now, if it was an Eagle or a Giant or a Redskin player going through something like this, and the facts showed
the same things,
same thing, I would say, man, that really sucks for him. That's not fair at all. That
I'd be definitely saying he's getting the shaft. And I wonder what the Eagle fans and Giant fans out here think.
I'll throw back for your comment. Let me see what you say.
Sorry, guys. Let's catch up with some of the comments.
Yeah. All other fans of other teams are cheering because they don't have to face Zeke, and if it was one of their guys, they'd be mad.
Exactly. Not only that, guys. I will say this: a lot of Eagle fans are cheering this, and Giant fans, but mainly Eagle fans. You know why, guys? And the truth is, they're scared. And I'm sorry, I don't want to say that maybe Eagle fans 767 is not scared. Maybe he's really confident he's going to be the Eagles will beat the Cowboys. But the fact that we're without Zeke, that gives confidence to every team in the NFL, and teams like the Eagles who are a little bit worried that we are creeping on them. We're the ones that broke out. So it was either us or the Redskins, and we're the ones that now are the target for the Eagles. They know they have to get away from us to win the division.
Yeah.
And that's what Eagle fan there, 767 knows, and Sixers JT and Hollyway and Green Gamer. Yeah. All you guys know, those are the Eagle fans that I know of, just off the top of my head on here, that you guys are a bit nervous, and including the big talkers, the cigar guy too, whatever his name is. So, he's cool though, Philly 500, I think. So all you guys are cool, but hey, be real. If your teams are also here in the danger zone, okay? So just keep that in mind.
I want to go ahead and read through some of the comments as well here. So Manuel, what's up? He said this is some BS for real. I agree. Time to play logic, Rack City, and that's the real problem with this whole case. How you doing tonight? It's just
you can't base it on logic.
Yeah, there hasn't been any logic or any kind of say. Again, the whole Jarvis Landry thing. People are saying, well, it's just they're using the same rules. It's not the same thing, but there was more evidence for that. They only spent a month reviewing the case, and he only got, you said one game, right?
I don't know how many games. Did he even get suspended? He didn't get suspended at all.
But with Zeke, they took 14 months, and then all of a sudden all this, and then this whole big rush to suspend him right now because of not the NFL. Oh my God!
Thank you, Shallow Hal, for that fix there on the Big Ben thing.
Let me go ahead.
Either way, I think he was suspended, Big Ben, by the way, but I'm not sure how many games it was. I don't know if it was a self-imposed suspension by the Steelers to kind of divert the NFL from doing anything. But this is before the Ray Rice thing, and the way they handled all these things is a horrible image for the NFL, and with Goodell running the ship, at the helm.
Oh, I get it, Rack City. He's talking about that Logic, the Suicide song.
I get it. Yeah, we do listen to Logic and other rappers and hip hop.
I like some of his older stuff a little better.
Yeah, so do I.
Anyway,
back on track.
Let me see. Virgil Johnson. So the Supreme Court, basically, if it even gets that far, will most likely not even hear the case because they are not going to waste their time even reviewing this case. So that's it. So technically, he could take it all the way there, but it's very unlikely they even hear the case. And here, Giant for Life, again, I don't want to say that there's a lot of women out there like that and things like that because, again, there's a lot of, real abusers.
Yeah. And this whole situation, honestly, this situation by the NFL trying to divert and say, no, that we're trying to be pro, we're very hard line against domestic violence, actually is hurting the whole cause.
Yeah, and it really
actually hurts it worse.
That, again, the real abusers, like, the Giants kicker, the guy who actually beat the crap out
Ray
of
Rice,
he got away with it. Ray Rice. I'm just saying, like, these guys.
I wouldn't say get away with it, but yeah, they.
You know what I mean? The point is that they got off easy. The NFL didn't give a crap then until they looked bad, and when they look bad, then they'll do it. But now with Zeke, when he legitimately, the facts have shown that he isn't guilty, that really bothers me. Okay, because he should not be unjustly labeled that. But guys, that's pretty much it as far as the stuff. Like I said, we'll be doing a video later on tonight, getting more into details. I want to get into some Cowboys stuff, and I want to start off with the number one thing that we're all kind of waiting on, which was Cole Beasley. Yeah, let me run on that real quick. So make sure. I know that's the number one thing that we're all. But guys, make sure to hit like if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already as well, and hit that notification bell. We do daily Cowboy live streams, and we stream our reaction to every single Cowboys game. Which are probably going to be a little more depressing without Zeke for the next 6 weeks. We're going to be here, I'm saying, do or die with or without Zeke. If we lose 6, we lose 6. But we're gonna definitely, definitely be here the whole way, guys. All 16 games and more if we get there, guys. It's still a wild card spot, guys, and it's definitely there for the grabbing. We got 6 games. We got 3 divisional games, 2 on the road. I'm sorry, 2 at home. Let me rephrase that. 2 at home, 1 on the road, which is the New York game. So these are winnable games. Winnable games, guys. Yeah, but DJ Crown J, you kind of said it best. They shouldn't cheer. This is bigger than football. It's his life as a man. It's correct. It leaves on it. Yes, you gotta give. That really bothers me. But you know what? I'm just hopeful that at this point, what are you going to do? I'm trying to accept it, and I really hope that Zeke can learn to accept it in a way, because he's going to have to at this point, and move past it, and hopefully come back with, excuse my language, with the biggest fire under his ass, and just tear up the field and put up a big middle finger to all the commission. I want to see Ezekiel Elliott, grabbing the Super Bowl, trophy,
ripping it.
Did
ripping it out of Goodell's hands.
Same moment, guys. I want it. Maybe it might not happen this year. I want it to happen this year. We're going to tell you how we can get into that wild card spot.
And now let me go talk about Cole. You brought up Cole Beasley, guys. Jason Garrett said today at his press conference that Beasley he had a concussion yesterday, guys. You can see that he went right into the protocol once they started checking his eyes and his range. So, but earlier today he looked good. He seemed good. So that's a good news, guys. Hopefully he'll be out of the protocol soon. And right now he's considered day to day. So we have to really see.
We'll definitely be updating you guys with that throughout the week. So make sure to hit that notification bell, because you never know when that'll break.
Yeah, I mean, so that's definitely something to watch this week, guys.
Is Tito playing? We don't know yet.
Don't know. I'm predicting he will. Yeah. Because he's been close to that point where he's been doing the same thing Sean Lee has done for basically the same amount of time and the same kind of practice
and then kind of protocol.
Exactly. And this is about the time where now he's going to start. He'll probably be limited one day, and then he'll be in practice, or maybe right in practice. So look for Awuzie back tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first practice back, and we should be ready. Well, that's not ready, but tomorrow's Tuesday, guys. Yeah, so all this stuff is getting it'll be Wednesday. We go back to practice.
Thanks for joining us. It's Monty, Barry B, Dallas Cowboys for life. And then I don't think I saw that comment, but guys, let me go through a few of the comments real quick. Let me see. We'll be okay. Hopefully this will piss the Cowboys off. Like I said, I hope it lights the fire under their ass.
We're going to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, so let me see. Getting closer to 1,000 subs. That's right, guys. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It really does help us out. Who do you think will be the Cowboys running back? We're going to touch on that in a minute. And Jimmy Ross, I agree, but he's not the only one. We said it was 17.
17 total owners, 17 right? Currently, and now maybe it's worse.
Now. So, but again, Jerry Jones is probably going to be the loudest voice in there if he hasn't already been.
Right, and he has been. Guys, listen. And speaking of Jerry Jones, he said this earlier today, before the ruling from Zeke, before the trial, before the case even was being heard. He said what is important here is that he gets a fair shake. Zeke has in no way, by any standard in this country, done anything wrong. Now that's coming from your owner, from the owner of your team, your boss, and basically giving you 110%, support on that, and much credit to Jerry Jones on that specific thing. He has been good to his players in that way, and I will say that this is going to add to the drama that we're getting to, guys, when it comes to the contract extension for Goodell, and the fact that basically Jerry Jones is spearheading this. He's the leader of this thing to kind of cancel it out, which I agree with. It would be a good thing, and it really, I think, will shake the NFL, but in a good way. So I do want to say some things about Zeke before we move on, because again, guys, even though we will be talking about Zeke, unfortunately, he's not going to be allowed on the property. He can't work out. Right. He can't see his teammates unless they're off property, of course. So it's going to be a rough 6 weeks, guys, for him. So it's got, I'm going to tell you these stats though here. Zeke now has 2,321 career rushing yards. So he has passed Ron Springs and Roger Staubach. Yes, quarterback Roger Staubach for 12th on the team's career rushing list. Cool little fact, I thought, right there. So again, cool. He's in a year and a half right now, and probably basically that's how he gets a year and a half under his belt. After the season, little over that. I mean, he's already 12th place, so that's awesome. So again, Dak Prescott, I'm going to jump to him real quick. He has the 7th most wins by a Cowboys starting quarterback, breaking a tie with Quincy Carter. And guys, don't laugh, Quincy Carter, yes, Coke man. He got us to the playoffs actually in those bad years. But he's just not a very good quarterback, and again, Dak is just
either way, not bad, Dak.
Dak's just moving up the list. That's the point. Fastest to 20 rushing touchdowns, guys, since 1970. This is in the entire NFL. Earl Campbell did it in 20 games, and Eric Dickerson did it in 20 games. Billy Sims from the Detroit Lions did it in 22 games. Barry Sanders, also from the Lions, did it in 22 games, and now Ezekiel Elliott ties them with 22 games as well, guys. So that's another cool little fun fact for Cowboy fans all over the place. Now, guys, our defense. We've got to talk about our defense before we go into the running back situation. Yeah. Our defense, guys, much love to them, much credit to them. They really are the team.
They have come through.
Yeah.
So far.
With the weather, that's the way they had to play. Yeah. And it was going to fall on them because it was going to be the running game and the defense. And guys, with the weather on top of it. But besides that, that's what I had said in that video I did through Madden 2 days ago on Saturday. It was like we had to establish the run with Zeke, and we have to get pressure on the quarterback. Those two things happen, in time we will win. We should have won by more if you really look at things. But again, with the weather, Mike Nugent came through for us, guys, in a huge way. A guy thrown on the team.
Major shout out to him.
Yes.
I mean, you really can't ask for more than that. He was 2 for 3 on field goals and 2 for.
I thought it was more than that. Yeah, I thought he had like more.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He had like 4 field goals. Yeah, he was like 4 for 5.
Yeah, he only missed 1 field goal and he hit every extra point.
Right.
So
yeah. Now, guys,
to him.
Also our special teams, much credit to them. They really turned the game yesterday with that blocked kick field goal. So that really changed it. When Tyrone Crawford blocked it, Tyrone Crawford probably had the best game of his career.
Yeah.
Skandrick had one of his better games of his career. These are the young, these are the old guys, the vets on the team that need to produce, and at least for this game they did. Now, even though the special teams, I still look at them as our defense because these are 2 defensive starters, and they're agile, they're out there doing the right things, and they were doing the good things on special teams. It's called special teams, but it was still kind of our defense. And again, not just that, we got the tip from Tyrone Crawford. That led to the interception for the touchdown from Byron Jones. David Irving. So again, David Irving again.
Crawford was the one that blocked the kick.
Yes.
He blocked the kick.
Who did? Crawford.
Yes.
So but Crawford also had he also had a sack. I think. I don't know.
He had a sack.
So guys,
he also had. I think he had something else. I'm missing it.
Yeah, forced fumble or recovered. I don't know. Listen, the Cowboys have 25 sacks now. 25 sacks.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I know it's super late, guys. We're a little bit banged up, but we're waiting on that Zeke news.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting on.
It as soon as it hits.
Yeah, guys, we're almost done running through the thing. We'll go through some more questions, and we're going to call it a night. But if you miss any of it, come back and watch it later.
Thanks, no problem. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and keep on rolling with some of this Cowboy news, and then we're going to go ahead and
we're going to hit those questions. I'll go as fast as possible, guys. The Cowboys have 25 sacks through their first 7 games. Very good. Last time they had 25 sacks in their first 7 games, you know what year it was, guys? Anybody know? 1987. 1987, they had 34. Which again, I know that is a lot. Now, just to say, guys, he has 21 rushing touchdowns as well. Ezekiel Elliott, I don't want to leave that out. Tying Barry Sanders and Billy Sims for the 3rd fastest to reach, as I discussed that earlier. But again, that's a great. I mean, that's a lot of touchdowns for Zeke, guys. It's just a short amount of time. It's fantastic. I love it. Again, after 7 games, Tyrone Crawford is on pace for 9 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence is on pace. DeMarcus Lawrence on pace for 24 sacks, which would probably break the record. Yeah. These things are not going to happen, guys, but these are just, possibility. Tyrone Crawford could. Yeah. He could come on stronger, I think, but
let's take this a game at a time. Anyway, guys, the fact that these guys are putting up numbers like this
huge numbers.
Is almost unheard of for this.
He has 10.5 sacks, DeMarcus Lawrence, and then David Irving on pace for 20 sacks. That's almost the record, and he was only playing 12 games. So huge. I mean, you're just seeing that from our defensive front, guys. They're definitely coming together, and that's with us missing, cutting the former Eagle at the beginning of the year. No, on our front line, Cedric Thornton, and that's with but retiring Stephen Paya. Those are 2 front line guys, starters, depth, whatever, and they're out, and we still doing this, guys. And again, I know it's the good weather conditions for this kind of defense, but the Redskins had the same condition against us, and we dominated them on the ground, guys. So, Zeke said the rain all game made the ball so slippery by the end of the game that he was getting the yardage was secondary to making sure he didn't fumble the ball, guys. So you can see that in the game. He jumped a couple of times just forward because he didn't want to fumble because it was so slippery. The ball was so soggy and wet. Yeah. So it's crazy, guys. And Zeke also did say that the line played phenomenal, quote, phenomenal. Yeah. And he said they probably played a perfect ball game from the blocking side, from the run blocking and pass blocking side, but not in the mistakes and holding side. That was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen by our offensive linemen when it comes to that, guys. And as you know, Zeke went right from the game to the hearing today, as we spoke about. And again, if you missed any of that, guys, check back earlier. My fiance, boy, she breaks it down well, guys. I understood a lot better. And unfortunately, it might get you upset if you're a Cowboy fan and you believe Zeke is obviously innocent in this. So,
and like I said, guys, I'm going to be doing a very in-depth video later on this week, really breaking down the whole Zeke thing so far with, as much evidence and, judge testimony and other things like that as possible. Yeah. And just because I'm still kind of, processing a lot of this stuff, and I want to kind of go back and see, because there was so much established, I guess, decisions made by other judges. I don't know, guys. I just really want to take a whole look at the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do think things will come out, and be looked upon by different kind of lawyers, and different ideas will come out. Exactly, and you're going to hear a lot of that. Guys, just the last bit of information about our defense, and David Irving has played in 3 games since he joined the team on October 2nd, guys. To date, he's got 7 tackles, 5 sacks, 2, I think, fumble recoveries to 3 passes to knock down and a blocked field goal. I mean, David Irving is the man. And much credit to him. And again, he'll be doing any kind of protesting he wants as far as what's his name is concerned, Jerry Jones is concerned. Again, DeMarcus Lawrence has 10.5 sacks. David Irving has 5. Tyrone Crawford has 4, guys.
And Malik Collins has 2.5.
Yeah, remember last year our leader was Benson Mayowa with 6. We already got basically almost 4 guys over that.
On this list this year.
Mayowa has played. Yeah, he was inactive last week. He played all right this week. He did cause. He did do something in the game, and I think he recovered a fumble or no, he did something. He caused a fumble.
Was the one that I think recovered it.
Okay, he might have caused. I don't know. He did something good this game. He put pressure, and I think he definitely helped. The whole tantrum with Des Bryant yesterday. Jason Garrett said that he thought it was all positive. He thought that he had Des has great passion and intensity for a game, which I do believe.
I agree.
He loves our team. He competes in every down. But I think he's really, honestly, in the end of this little soliloquy here by Jason Garrett, the redheaded puppet of Jerry Jones. Yeah. I think that a big, his whole thing with Dez is more just to kind of dismiss it or kind of displace it. Yeah, exactly. Because they don't want any kind of drama on this. Yeah, and again,
and you know what? Look, if that's what it takes,
that's what it means to be the coach of the Cowboys.
Someone should be stepping on top of that sideline and putting Dez in his place, because I'm sorry, sometimes you got to be a team player, and in conditions like that, you can't expect to get the ball. They really did try to get him the ball, but the way the game worked out, it was just a dirty running game. Yeah, dirty running game. Our defense needed to come up strong. They did. And when I say dirty, I mean penalty-wise.
Okay, I see. Well, it was dirty both ways. Yes. But yes, dirty penalty-wise, we did not do well blocking. Yeah. Even though some calls were questionable still. Some calls some holds were not even needed, like Jason Witten.
One of Tyron Smith's holding calls, I think, was total crap. Yeah. One was completely different. He was definitely
exactly. And then just to finish, I keep saying finish with the defense, but no, it's not you. Actually, I forgot this, and I wanted to say this without using the notes and the news of the day, because I want to just examine the Redskin game. Anthony Brown was our worst player in the field yesterday, but that big, I guess the play towards the end of the game where he kind of got called for interference was not interference, guys. It was not interference. I guess you can see how they can call it in a way, but
they're saying that because he didn't turn his head back, it wasn't interference, and I'm not joking. That's what I actually read. Right.
But since the ball was underthrown, though, the ball was underthrown, so it was kind of like it had nothing uncatchable, but also he wasn't really having to turn around because it was already a ball that was
out of that zone
short. Right. The point is that by the rules, it should. I heard by an NFL official saying that it should not have been called an interference. But either way, guys, Anthony Brown had a bad game. So that's something to be concerned about in defense, aside from Awuzie coming back from injury. Aside from those two things, I think we're in good shape. I like that Malik Collins was back there in the game. I like the way Sean Lee and Hitchens played the entire game. And Jalen Smith, he adds the spark that we need in there, guys. He is a little speed burst in there, and he's going to get better as the season goes on.
He did much better in this game than he did
in San Francisco, too. Well, no, San Francisco got a sack.
Oh, well, true.
And he caused a fumble. That was a big play. I mean, we're playing him smartly on defense. Much props on that side of things. And again, you remember he had to be thrown in there in the fire right in the first 6 weeks of the season because we didn't have either Anthony Hitchens for the first 4 weeks and then Sean Lee for the for 2 weeks basically we didn't have him. So in 1 week we didn't have either. So again, guys, Jalen Smith was thrown in the fire. He did okay, but then you could see his weaknesses quick. He needs time to develop, but to throw him in there for 15, 20 plays, it's awesome. Taco was in there. He had some plays. He looked okay. He did pressure the quarterback a couple times. Yeah. Again, he's going to be a guy like the same way, in the same vein as Jalen Smith. Next year, watch them both explode. I think they'll be a lot better next year. And I don't mean that I think Jalen Smith will be better next year, but I think that, to compare to Taco, but I think Taco is going to make a big improvement as well next year at his position. Now, the pressure was, the pressure was great. Tank was, the whole line, the linebackers, but our coverage guys.
Guys, let's talk about one of our second-year guys who is not doing so well.
Anthony Brown. Again, he was poor. We had to see better from him. He had a couple poor games already, and this was the worst of all of them. And I kind of try to, get into his corner, but at the same time, sophomore slump for him for sure. Hopefully he can maintain that spot, guys, because Awuzie comes back. You never know. Yeah. Now, also, Orlando Scandrick, props to him. He did very good coverage yesterday. You really saw him on tight coverage. He did a very good game. Of course, that return changed the game as well with Tyrone. When Tyrone Crawford blocked it, Scandrick returned it almost for a touchdown. It should have been. Yeah. But again, all these things, our defense played fantastic. Jordan Lewis, I didn't really see him get burned too much. I think he was a couple of times. I know he played off the ball a bunch of times too, so I wouldn't really call that getting burned. Xavier Woods missed some tackles.
Yeah,
that was a problem too.
And again, the thing is that the Cowboys specifically put him in those situations because they want him to make that big play. But
he's still failing a little bit. So, and the last couple games. So,
honestly, guys,
against Green Bay,
a little worried.
Well, he's still I see
still
him
a rookie,
exactly.
So we gotta give him time. But I don't like the fact that the Cowboys are kind of like. I understand, out of the fire and into the frying pan, or the other way around, whatever it is, out of the frying pan into the fire. But let's put maybe a more experienced guy back there, or alternate. Well, again, with Heath
we are doing that. We do have Heath in the game. And that's the thing. He's still the starter, Heath. You'll see Heath come out at times, but you'll sometimes see 3 safeties, and Byron Jones playing the cornerback. True. I guess so. You have 2 safeties.
I don't know. I guess I want Xavier Woods.
My point with Xavier Woods is that he seems to be covering pretty well. Is the tackling, which is the issue. Yeah. Something that could definitely improve. He's from a small school, guys. He's gonna, he wasn't a big name guy, but he had a lot of potential. Smaller safety. Again, we're going to hopefully get a Woozier back. That's going to help our secondary. But the main part of helping our secondary, the main part of helping our entire defense starts with the running game and the offense, and also on our defensive front line, stopping the run with the front line and the linebackers. Yeah. And then we control the game with those 2 things happen, guys. And we can do this to most teams. I truly believe so. Now, let's talk about the big hole in our team.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott, guys, gone now. Now we have to establish the run. As I was kind of setting this whole thing up for our defense, because without this, our defense is now below average again.
Exactly.
And so we need a running game. And I don't think we change a thing, guys. I think we have to stick it out with Darren McFadden. We saved him for almost 2 years. He hasn't played football. Yeah, he's going to be healthy as a horse.
On top of that, guys, we are also going to have Alfred Morris and Rod Smith.
So Rod Smith.
All 3 of those guys doing the thing that Zeke can do. I actually want to mention a comment by Travis Frederick because, guys, he's one of the most intelligent players on this Cowboys team. And the way that he analyzed the running backs, it was just...
It's important. He's the guy that changes plays.
He actually got us the first down in when it was a 4th and 3 or 4th and 1. I don't know. It was a 4th down situation where the Cowboys went for it.
It was during the later of the game. It was later in the game. I think the 3rd quarter, and we were at midfield, right on our own territory in midfield, guys.
It got us past our own 50, I think. And
but it was a 4th and 1, guys. It was a ballsy call by Garrett, and then you said Frederick realized something in the defense.
In the middle,
right, he saw that.
Signal to Dak.
And basically, guys, in Madden, you flip the play. Basically, they flipped the play. It looked like instead of running to the right, that was the whole. Travis Frederick kind of got to survey the defensive front and then saw, okay, where's the opening? We're going to either run right to the left or right. It's called to the right, so we got to call the audible. He called it to Dak. Dak immediately put his arm behind him on his left side and then called the audible. And then they snapped it. Zeke ran it and got the 2 yards. We needed 1. It got us to midfield, and that led to us really, really, really driving for a field goal. That again, all these field goals helped us. We want touchdowns, not field goals. But in this kind of game, if you get field goals, and you cannot get these touchdowns by whatever the reason may have been, mainly because of penalties, and that was the big issue, guys. On defense, it was AB, his blown plays, but overall they played very well. On offense, it was the holding calls more than Dak. Because people are criticizing Dak for throws, but again, look at the weather, guys. I don't care who you are, you're still gonna have trouble in that weather, and he still didn't do that bad, guys. And again, I do think that running the ball is key here. I think they did get away with it, even though Zeke ran his career high 33 times for 150 yards. The 150 I love. The 33, it's a little misleading because of the way the Cowboys kind of ran them, almost on purpose on some plays. You knew they were just gonna bang it in the middle, and the Redskins stopped them once or twice, but then they got it on the 3rd time. That's the way the Cowboys should be playing, and that's what you do with Zeke. Now, I will say this, guys. Let me give you some positives about McFadden. Okay, go ahead, baby.
I just wanted to read the Travis Frederick comment.
I'm sorry. Yes, read that. I'm sorry.
I think each of them brings a little something different to the table. Alfred Morris is the best I've ever played with running the zone game. His feel for it's impressive the way he makes his cuts. McFadden is awesome. I love the way he runs through the line of scrimmage. When you see him on our inside zone plays, he's running, making contact, and driving them moving forward. Rod Smith's a guy who's just running into guys, shaking tackles. He could take a little bit more brunt there. So, and basically, he said Zeke is an all-purpose back. He's good all around. So he basically said that each one of these guys has one of the major qualities that make Zeke great, and that they succeed at that thing, and that's why he's confident in all 3 of these guys being successful behind their offensive line.
Yeah,
so,
no, exactly. And again, I do think that what Frederick said is perfect. I mean, we've been saying that these three running backs are there for this reason. They're three guys playing Zeke as Zeke. Now, I will say this, guys. Let me give you the pros and cons. This is the most important thing now. This is going to be the hot topic this entire week is really analyzing our running backs. And let's do it. Let's start right now. The three guys are in there. I believe McFadden, and I see that. I like the comment that I don't know if Manuel Corona said it or someone said it about him being rusty. I think he took his, I don't know. But I do agree that there could be some rust on McFadden because he hasn't played for so long. But guys, recall, in the preseason, he did play, and he played well. He had one fumble against the Raiders in a red zone area where, it would have been a touchdown. But aside from that fumble, guys, he was going to lead us to a second touchdown by him that drive, if I recall. So, guys, what I'm trying to say is that McFadden is the most like Ezekiel Elliott. And I think with him being healthy, he's injury prone in the past, guys. But when he was with us and he missed the first 6 games of the season, or 5 games of the season, he still hit 1,000 yards with the same offensive line and no quarterback.
So Manuel Corona,
yes, Manuel Corona, thank you.
Yes, I hope DMC is good for us. We're worried about Russ once he gets going. I feel about him.
Yes,
I feel Alfred Morris will start over him though.
I believe it doesn't matter who starts in this. I do believe though. I think McFadden, they've waited for him for this. I think I do think McFadden is going to start this. Yeah. And maybe not this week, maybe the next week. But I think McFadden is going to end up being the more of the starting running back. And I still think that you're going to have Morris come in on some downs. You're going to have Rod Smith come in on multiple downs. So guys, you're going to have. Oh, well, that was loud. I think you're gonna have our with our offensive line, the way they blocked yesterday. If your defensive line is not the best or one of the best in the league, we're gonna probably if we run the ball and stay smart and stay conservative, I think the Cowboys can beat almost every team in this league. Actually, let me rephrase that. I think they could beat every team in this league, even with McFadden, Morris, and Rod Smith. Now,
Mr. Right, by the time the cheese I'm making tonight matures, Zeke will probably still be waiting to resolve this. So, yeah, guys, like we said, Zeke's definitely going to appeal. I want to kind of, just for 2 seconds, jump to the Zeke thing, just because I do want to touch on, it does affect the McFadden and Morris. What games are they going to be playing? So, we can expect them to play home against Kansas City, at Atlanta, home against the Eagles, home against the Chargers, home against Washington, away against the Giants. So, guys, those are the 6 games that Zeke is likely to miss.
Right, we knew that. We knew that the game that would have been different is that if let's say that he didn't appeal it and just quit, which would be stupid. If he had done that, we would have missed the Redskin game. And again, guys, you think about it: 33 times, 150 yards in very difficult conditions. That would concern me with the other running backs for sure. But with Zeke, we actually needed him for the. Now the difference game is going to be the Giants. Now the Giant game, if it's snowing or raining, I'm gonna fear a little bit with these 3 running backs. Then over Zeke would make a big difference. Yeah. But I do think that if it's just cold, I think we're okay. I think we're good. I mean, I think if I recall correctly, McFadden ran all over the Giants against this good defense a couple years ago, and I think that's why I think whether it was against the Redskins or the Giants, I think he had 1,000 yards against a division rival. And what I'm saying, my point is that McFadden, he's going to be close to that explosiveness because he's so healthy. And this is why the Cowboys, you think they would have wasted a roster spot all this time to just bench, keep McFadden kind of like playing 4 times? No. McFadden's going to play. This is the reason. He's the replacement to Zeke. Yeah. And Morris will play a lot, and so will Rod Smith.
Yeah, and guys, to kind of top that all off, don't expect the Cowboys to be making any moves as far as trades or picking up any kind of running backs or anything right now. Because, again, they seem to feel very confident and locked in on that spot.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Martellus, Bryant, whatever his name is, Martavius Bryant, I think his name is, from the Steelers. He's a receiver.
Does he have a lot of off the field issues?
Exactly. That's the last thing. Exactly. That's the last thing we need for the Cowboys right now. And we already have Noah Brown. I mean, what are we gonna do? I mean, we're gonna run out of spots for receivers. Already we're pushing it with Noah Brown. And no question we keep Noah Brown on the team. I just don't think we go after any receivers, guys.
Yeah,
0.
And again, I don't see the Cowboys making any kind of moves like that.
I have heard
6-game suspension.
Exactly, and as far as running back, I don't see any changes. I don't see any changes with receiver or trades. I have heard though that there is some word that the Cowboys are trying to maybe look for an inexpensive defensive tackle. Someone like a Brian Price that can replace Brian Price with, and add someone in there that maybe is a better run stopper, like a more specialized run stopper, so they can get them on first down, they can start them, and then put Malik Collins maybe on second down and third down. So that's the mindset. I like that mindset, and they're trying to just get a better rotation. A guy, a starter on the defense doesn't really matter because in the end, it's
about
situational.
And the play. Exactly.
Yes.
It's about what play you make after that first initial play.
Right.
But they want to set themselves up in the best position for first down.
And on offense, I think that if we just continue to run the ball, it might take a little more effort. We might not win as much as we should.
Yeah, definitely expect.
But we have to run the ball.
Field goals throughout these next 6 weeks. That
But
I would like.
I will say a positive though is that the fact that we have these 3 running backs back there now, whoever's back there at that time, the defense, every single defender. I don't care defensive line, I don't care linebacker, I don't care defensive backs.
Yeah.
Every single defender is going to just be a little bit less concerned about the running back, just a little bit less concerned about the running back, and
they're not quite as focused on Zeke.
Right, Zeke is different. Zeke is like boom, everyone's looking at Zeke.
Yeah, they know that Dak is going to pass a little more.
But I don't think they will though. That's the thing. I don't think they will pass more. I disagree. Unless we're losing, of course we'll pass more, but I don't think we'll pass more.
The Cowboys have also, up until this game, have been very underwhelming in their use of the running game. So
I agree with you, but except for this last game.
I know, that's why I said except for this last game.
Right.
But that's because I think they were forced by extenuating circumstances,
the weather, right,
to rely on.
And that is true, actually. That's a good point. Well, Jason Witten did say that he was going to get a lot of red zone pass attempts this game. They had a game plan. So I will say, I will give credit. I guess that proves that the Cowboys did make adjustments, but it was forced adjustments because of weather, because they couldn't risk Dak throwing in the rain.
That just shows me they had no intention of ever having the running game be as dominant.
You guys see what happens when you throw in the rain, even as Kirk Cousins, who's more, let's say a little more established in the league. You see his passes. I mean, of course it was great pressure, but it's still, even when it wasn't that pressured, a lot of his passes were incomplete. Or even when they were rushed, they wouldn't be that badly thrown. It's the weather, guys. I don't care which quarterback you are. You're going to have problems out there. So I don't really put too much in Dak's performance and the fact that some balls weren't the best thrown in this one here. But I will say that, again, the way we ran the ball 33 times in Zeke's hands. I mean, if we can get, 15 to Darren McFadden and 10 to Morris and 5 to Rod Smith, I love that. I think we win every game. I mean, let me rephrase that. Let me chill. I think we win almost every game, or we can at least have a chance to win every game. Let's just say that. A chance to win every game if we do that with those 3 guys. And our defense just plays. If we're doing that, that means the game is close or we're winning. So, because if not, we'll be throwing 40 times, and then that's going to probably be difficult to win, although we can still do it with Dak Prescott. So I have a lot of faith in him as well, and I know he can pull it out if need be, but we don't want to rely on that every single game.
No,
we got to establish the run.
I'm glad that he, if it had to be suspended, I'm glad he at least played this Washington game, because if not, it would have been a very different game.
I agree.
Guys, we've been streaming here for, let me see, about 40 minutes, so please make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. It really does help out our channel. We are trying to grow, so make sure to hit that subscribe button as well and hit the notification bell, guys. If you like what we're doing here, just because we're trying to bring you the Cowboys news. We're very, very sad. We're trying to break all this down for you.
And as somebody said earlier, with the fact that we have almost 1,000 subs, and we appreciate it, guys. We didn't even think about that when we first started doing this. You guys have, have made us more aware, and the fact that there is a big group of people out there that really want to hear Cowboy news. Even if we ramble sometimes, we apologize. Most of you guys know how those things work. And with us on this side of the camera, we devote ourselves at least an hour, or close to an hour a day to do these things. So, guys, we appreciate all your input, and sometimes we don't get to all your questions. We apologize, but eventually we will. Just keep going at us, guys. Trust me. Today's been an active day, and it's been a late active day, so we're exhausted. We're holding in here, guys. So hit that like, subscribe. We even have a Patreon page, guys. If you want to donate that way, one day we'll have a super chat. And we're even thinking about possibly making. We know some people that can make shirts for a good price, so there's a good chance we could maybe one day have even a T-shirt, guys, that you guys might be interested in, and we'll give away or something.
Right, as far as Zach Miller, guys, if you didn't hear, the Bears
had
emergency vascular surgery right after that injury. He was rushed to New Orleans some kind of medical center.
It was major, guys. The aorta, right?
Losing, right away.
But it was the aorta was torn. I think
he had a torn aorta. So, like I said, he had vascular surgery.
There was nothing going. No blood was going. No blood flow was going through his leg.
Trying to save his leg, but there's some good news there. It does look like he had an MRI today just to check on how his leg was doing, and
after the surgery, of course,
and it looks like so far everything's okay. I don't think he's out of the woods completely, but so far
it looks like he's going to keep his leg, though, guys. It looks good for that. We don't want to count the chickens yet, but guys, that people were worried about if he's going to play this year again. He's not going to play. He might not be able to. At that time, we didn't know if he was going to have a leg. And that's crazy, guys. That's if you saw that video, guys, it is horrifying. No question about it. No offense. I mean, when I saw it live, and I could not. it turned my stomach. I will admit, initially when I first saw that. I'm used to it now, seeing it so many times. But gosh,
Jason, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna be doing a very in-depth video later on this week on the Zeke thing for those who are interested, because there's a lot of stuff. We don't want to waste too much of our stream time on all the little details, but we gave you guys, the most.
And guys, she explained it to me. Fiance here tells it to me. She gets the information. She's not a lawyer. She's not.
You see, the thing is that sometimes, guys, I will admit, I have a tendency to say things, and to me they make sense. They might not make sense to other people. So thankfully, my fiance here helps me out with that, and he makes sure that I.
When it comes to football,
exactly. So
everything else, she's the ruler.
Things in life as well. So we're a team, guys. We're a team. So. Other than that, guys, let me see. I just kind of want to do a quick wrap up on all the news. So, of course,
we'll be talking a lot more, guys, about the running game for the Cowboys. Darren McFadden, Morris, and Smith.
We saw from our offensive line, guys.
Yes, that's the key. Thank you for bringing that up, guys. That's where
Collins is still struggling a little bit, but and Keith Smith, I pointed him out in the stream.
Fullback,
I said, I'm
41
when he's out there on the field, and Cowboy analysts agree with me. Keith Smith is just doing terrific things. Someone mentioned in the chat, I think it was you, Rack City, I'm not 100% sure, that Kevon Frazier is amazing at special teams. Like, that's the one thing he does, and he does it well.
Mr. Right.
So, you know what? Thumbs up for him, too.
Yeah.
Orlando Scandrick had one of the best games of his career. I mean, guys.
No, it's Tyrone Crawford for sure. Even though he said he didn't, but he did, trust me.
No, Scandrick was the one, I think, who said.
No, it's Crawford who said it. Yeah, he said no. It's another game. He mentioned. Trust me, guys. This was Tyrone Crawford's best game of his career. Again, guys, I just want to say that our offensive line is the key here, and that's why we talk about the running backs, but we're not talking about what's doing it for the running backs. Guys, look at the game when Law Nation compiles his stuff. And we see, we get to watch that game again in that 30-second, in that 30-minute kind of viewfinder kind of way, where you just see every play back to back to back, no matter what. And guys, you're going to see a lot of holding calls by offensive line, but outside of that, and those are drive killers as far as touchdowns were concerned. But when it comes to those five guys who are now gelling so much better, Chaz Green has been supplanted by Jonathan Cooper, and rightfully so, as I said from the beginning of the season, or by the second week of this preseason, I said that Jonathan Cooper should be the guy. He looks better, and he's more reliable. That's the key. Even if Chaz Green is the better player there, Chaz Green cannot be counted on. So Jonathan Cooper can be. I said he'd be better with Travis Frederick on the right and Tyron Smith on the left. He has gotten to that point. Guys, he had a bad game against the Rams because he was thrown in there with no practice. So after that game, though, he's improved fantastic every single game. Even against the Packers, he's went up. Against the Niners, he's dominated. And against the Redskins, he dominated. So, guys, Cooper and the crew, Frederick, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and even Lionel Collins is still doing great for learning a position for 5 months or whatever. And, again, I'm really happy with the team minus the penalties. I love this offensive line. And, guys, with the way they're pushing those Redskins off that line with McFadden, with Morris or Rod Smith, those guys are going to get 4 or 5 yards every time. We keep running that damn ball, and we keep getting those damn yards, and keep running that damn clock, and keep getting those damn touchdowns.
Guys. And Rack City, I mean, Hollywood, if you would like to be a mod, you're more than welcome to.
Eagle fan? Eagle fan? Ooh, I don't know about that. You got to go through a little more security here, security clearance.
And Green Gamer, yes, Ezekiel Elliott suspended.
Another Eagle fan.
Yeah, so guys, I just want to go ahead.
Congratulations, 7-1, guys. Congratulations on that. For now, half the season, you guys are the champs of half the season.
Thanks for joining us as well, guys. I'm going to go ahead and kind of finish up the stream with the strangest thing you guys are ever going to hear.
Yobi.
So let's go ahead and record this day in history.
What is this? Wait, is it official?
As of now, what?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. As of now, guys, this is what the playoff picture would be like. So, and I'm not joking. I'm just a little surprised. So here we go. On the NFC side, with the first seed, the Eagles. That feels dirty in my mouth to say. So, guys, second seed right now, the Minnesota Vikings. As far as
3 quarterbacks
in the
and
NFC,
they're still
third seed is
no, that's with the buys. Okay, I'm saying
So like
the division winner would be
so wild card ones in the NFC now.
Okay, go ahead. No, sorry. Okay, it's not really wild card. Those are division winners.
Oh, so the division winners here we have in the NFC: Seahawks, the Saints, the Rams, and the Panthers.
All right, let me do it for her, guys. I'm sorry, I should have known. No, it's not. I'll explain it. So Eagles would be the first seed. Vikings would be the second seed. The third seed looks like it would be the Seattle Seahawks, guys. I know that, but okay, I'm trying to break it down here. So third seed would be the Seahawks. The fourth seed would be the Saints, guys.
What did you break down that I didn't? I said the same thing.
And then the wild card teams would be the Panthers and the Rams. See, she has to let me finish. So those would be the wild card teams. It would be the Carolina Panthers at the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams at the Saints in the wild card games.
I don't care about who plays who. I'm just surprised about the teams that are in there.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's what it would come down to, and it would be very surprising for the most part. But it's very, very early.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just so surprised. And again, in the AFC, we have the Steelers in the first seed, Patriots in the second, Chiefs are third seed, Titans are the fourth, Bills are fifth, and Jaguars are sixth. So, guys, we have. Could anybody ever say that any of these teams, like, let's pretend the playoffs for tomorrow? So
let's see. Which ones would you say are surprises? I mean, look, the Eagles I could have seen. The Vikings I could have seen because of their defense. And the Panthers I could have seen. The Seahawks I could have seen.
I think the Rams are surprising, even though they have good defense.
I agree.
Their offense
That's
so new.
Out of the playoff teams on the NFC, I would say they're the biggest surprise because the Saints, I thought, had a chance as well. I thought they would have a chance. Them and Carolina, I said, was going to have a chance to supplant and surpass the Atlanta Falcons. So, and then on the other side, nobody saw the Jaguars being in the playoffs, basically.
Or the Bills.
And Buffalo, too. Or the Titans right now.
No, the Titans were, again, they were.
Look at their record, though. You know why they're the home team? Because they won the division in this as of right now. Because they're the division winners right now. So they would get a home game. Exactly. So even though that they're the worst team out of all the teams in the playoffs, they would still get the home game. So, and I want to make one thing clear, guys. If you guys listen to my NFL picks, how many people are on here? Because I want to know. Oh, the 20 of you guys. Check back my NFL picks. Guess who was undefeated this week? Moi. And also, I will give credit, Little J was also undefeated, guys. We both had the same picks. I
lost one game.
And we both were 13-0. You were 12-1. Congratulations. That's still good. A lot of people did good this week. So I really shouldn't brag that much, but it's tough still to get undefeated in your NFL straight-up picks, guys. So I'm just saying, congrats to my Cowboys family dad. Yeah. Thank you for the pat in the back. I'm doing myself right now here.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up here just because
we're trying to make light of a very bad situation today, guys, with the Zeke Elliott thing. So thanks for sitting in here and watching us get depressed. And, guys, even though we're depressed, even though we did lose something in our running backs,
we're still going to be bringing you guys the news just the same and breaking everything down.
Exactly. We still have the offensive line intact and getting better. We still have Dak leading the team. We have our receivers that hopefully will continue to improve. Hopefully Cole Beasley will get better with the injury on offense here. Yeah. And, guys, we have 3 running backs that are more than capable of carrying this load behind that offensive line.
Absolutely.
As long as they keep improving, we'll keep improving, guys. And the Cowboys will keep improving and winning this thing. I think they have a chance to beat the Chiefs. They're on a 6-game turnarout.
That's right.
Keep that in mind. They just finished their game right now. They won.
I think it was a blowout.
They won 29-19, but still, they still have to play the game. They got to come out and come to Dallas. Not a far flight. It's a drive, really. But they come to Dallas, and guys, be loud in Big D. All right, we got to be loud. We got we got to run the ball, and I think we can beat the Chiefs no matter how good they are. We can do this. We can do it. I'm telling you, we can do it. So let's get this one game at a time. We're done with the Redskins. We'll talk a little more at them as the week progresses. But once that Wednesday comes, it's 100%. We're done with the Redskins, guys. It's over.
Yep.
Moving on. We don't have Zeke. Moving on. Let's go. We're going to go DMC and Morris and Rod Smith, guys. And behind that offensive line and Dak, we're in great hands, guys. We still got a shot, not only at the wild card, but at the division. So we're coming at you guys. We're coming for the damn Eagles. So watch for us. 3 weeks, guys.
All right, guys. So, and of course, I just kind of want to mention tomorrow is Halloween, so we will be,
spooky.
Busy with the kids out getting candy, but we will still be bringing you guys the updates. So make sure to hit that notification bell. So we'll be breaking the news throughout the day and doing a later stream that night.
We'll be doing a Halloween stream. Probably when we're trick or treating, guys. We'll probably do a little 2-minute check-in. So bear with us. We'll be in our all costumed out, walking in the neighborhood, getting some trick or treat candy. I mean, no, our kids will, not us.
Yeah.
We'll probably get some. That wasn't funny. That's real.
No, it's their payment for us having to walk everywhere. But guys, now we enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Our kids have some pretty cool costumes this year.
Happy Halloween to everybody on the East Coast. It's now officially 12 o'clock. And happy Halloween to everybody else. Thank you for watching us, guys. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
That's right.
And hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Yes, and that little bell. Yeah, make sure it's on.
With Zeke, without Zeke, no matter what happens.
Offensive line, the whole team, as always. Go Cowboys! Take care, guys.
See you guys. Good night.
We'll have better days than this for sure, guys.
Let's hope, guys.
Yeah. Go Cowboys.